All right, so we're here at Wayne State with head coach of the Wayne State Warriors, Tyrone Wheatley, and we're going to talk about the 1993 Rose Bowl. I guess they call it the Wheatley game, and we're here with Coach, and he's going to talk a little bit about that.
They will be singing in Ann Arbor and all over the state thanks to Michigan's win in the Rose Bowl this afternoon. And it's pretty simple because you can sum up this win in just 2 words: Tyrone Wheatley. Have you ever had bigger holes to run through?
Hey, I don't know. Earlier this year, somebody made a remark that I said that against Michigan State that I could run, 150 yards in a body cast. I didn't make that remark, but today, I think I could have ran in a body cast 150 yards.
Like Desmond a couple years ago, I coach Wheatley. That's probably, no. Yeah, he is, because Bernie has the ability, as I tell everybody in my corny way, but he can hit the home run, and when he gets loose, he's something special.
You think Tyrone Wheatley could be the governor?
I think tonight he can be. What an awesome performance.
The celebration that took place after the game was obviously compliments of Michigan's win and Tyrone Wheatley. But let's give some credit where it's due. His offensive line was just unbelievable. Wasn't this kind of the way it was supposed to happen?
Exactly the way it was supposed to happen.
It was all scripted this way?
Exactly, yes. I was up last night writing the script. This is exactly how it was. Before the game, tell you, here's what really happened. Coach Mueller, he is more relaxed and more pumped up than I've ever been since I've been here.
Michigan offensive line is the best in the country, and we did it once again.
They had a few young guys in there, we had some experience, and yeah, we did. We kicked their butt, and I'm glad, it's a way to go out.
There is something very special and very emotional about playing in your final college football game, and the Michigan seniors vowed to do one thing. They weren't going to walk off this field here in Pasadena a loser today. This feeling to walk off a winner in your last game, it's got to be.
It's unbelievable. I can't even describe it. I just want to sit out here for a few weeks and hang out.
I wanted to come in here and win this game so bad. I'm so choked up right now, I can't even talk.
How's it feeling to walk off this field a winner?
I'm jacked. I can't swear, I'm jacked.
Yeah, this is it. This is it.
You want to cry a little? That's all? You don't put this uniform on anymore.
This is it.
It's the one thing that Michigan wanted to do, and the kids said at the beginning, is that we wanted to sing the victors in Pasadena. Oh, yeah.
With the Rose Bowl champion Wolverines in Pasadena, this is Bernie Smilovitz, Night Beat.
Man, why did y'all do that to me?
Oh, we had to take you there.
The biggest thing when the day you step into Michigan, you talk about the team. When you see the tears, it's like, wow. First of all, we all look so young.
All right. So after your first, and we'll say your first long touchdown, about 53 yards, do you know you're just getting things going right now?
No. No, because this Washington team was nothing to play around. So you never thought the first one was easy or this game was, no, it was one of those deals where you were dialed in and locked in, and you really didn't realize what was happening until the entire game was over. But after that first down, it was like, hey, okay, that one's over.
That's behind you.
Let's go.
Snap and clear.
Snapping in.
On to the next one.
Tyrone Wheatley. Have you ever had bigger holes to run through?
Hey, I don't know. Earlier this year, somebody made a remark that I said that against Michigan State that I could run, 150 yards in a body cast. I didn't make that remark, but today, I think I could have ran in a body cast 150 yards.
All right, so 150 yards for anyone in a body cast. What made you have that confidence to say, yeah, I can run through with a body cast?
Well, it was a remark that was made post-game, right? Post-game, because of what my offensive line did. I did win the Rose Bowl MVP, and I remember asking those, because they had their own little rules, the offensive line. Like, they didn't like to speak to the media. They didn't want to do all sorts of things, right? And I brought them into the press conference after the game, and I brought the entire offensive line in, and I said, hey, listen, I think they should speak before I speak. And the reason why I made that comment was, look at what they did for me. It was easy for me to just hit my landmark, right? But then once I got into the second level, because they were playing up front, they was playing a bare defense, 8-man front, and just had one safety. And I just knew the one safety wasn't going to get me. But the offensive line and the way they did their job and what the holes they opened up, they got me to the second level, and I just needed to do what I need to do. But none of that happens if they don't do their job.
Well, and that goes back to what you talked about earlier with everyone having one individual purpose and utilizing that skill for the whole team to win. And most people, you know, they're calling it the Wheatley show or the Wheatley game, but you can see those connections. Each one of those offensive linemen made that possible for you to hit those holes like that.
It might have been the Wheatley show, but just like here, you have an incredible production crew. You have everybody doing their job in order for this thing to come together as a great show, as a great production, but behind the scenes, you know, yes, it's you and I right now. They see us, but behind the scenes, what it takes to get set up, and you know, the production, the sound, the lighting, you know, it's just not us. But once that game was over, like I say, I think everything kind of came to realization. Like, man, I did have a good game, but it doesn't happen without these guys up front. It doesn't happen with Mercury Hayes chasing guys down, Derek Alexander block. Like, you talking about receivers that took pride in blocking more so than catching the ball. Like those, and I can't forget Amani Toomer. I apologize if I'm leaving anybody out, but like I said, it was just an overall show. You know, even Elvis Gerbeck, you know, you talk about all he did was just hand off the ball. No, he carries out his fakes. He carries out the boot. You know, he was getting us in the right checks. So it was just an overall team effort that was incredible.
The celebration that took place after the game was obviously compliments of Michigan's win and Tyrone Wheatley. But let's give some credit where it's due. His offensive line was just unbelievable. Wasn't this kind of the way it was supposed to happen?
Exactly the way it was supposed to happen.
It was all scripted this way?
Exactly, yes. I was up last night writing the script. This is exactly how it was. Before the game, I'll tell you, here's what really happened. Coach Mueller, he had us more relaxed and more pumped up than I've ever been since I've been here.
Michigan offensive line's the best in the country, and we did it once again.
We had a few young guys in there, you know. We had some experience, and yeah, we did. We kicked their butt, and I'm glad. You know, it's a way to go out.
You have to go back to the story the prior year.
Okay.
They had this guy called Steve Edmond. He was pretty dominant, and we lost in the Rose Bowl. It was a pretty bad year that year, you know, to end on that note. But then to turn around and play the same team, the monkeys off their back. They did it, they won, and now it's kind of like they can. These guys played through all time. Like you talk about Steve Everett, you know, broke his jaw, played with a pinned jaw. Then the next week broke his right hand and he snaps with his left hand. These guys played with injuries, they played hurt, and they never once complained. So you look at yourself and you say, how dare I? How dare I even think about, oh, I got a sprained toe?
Well, let's talk about, I think you said Doug, clearly he's never done too many interviews because he had the whole face mask right in the thing. That is epic for me.
There is something very special and very emotional about playing in your final college football game. And the Michigan seniors vowed to do one thing. They weren't going to walk off this field here in Pasadena a loser today. This feeling to walk off a winner in your last game is got to be.
It's unbelievable. I can't even describe it. I just want to sit out here for a few weeks and hang out.
I wanted to come in here and win this game so bad. I'm so choked up right now, I can't even talk.
How's it feeling to walk off?
You know, what kind of teammate was that to play with?
You know, you talk about Kobe in the Mamba mentality. Kobe did this interview when he talked about, I'm not here for you to like me. Elvis kind of had that demeanor in the locker room and that presence. It was like you never seen him laugh, you never seen him smile or to have fun. And to see that emotion is really, it's like I said, it's that monkey's off the back. I finally can smile and enjoy the fruits of my labor. And then also, you know, Elvis was also fighting the history, right? In order to live up to that standard that's in that room and to leave and say, I have not won the big one.
Right.
You know, that's a lot of pressure on a young man to carry.
For sure.
But now he's done it. Once again, like I say, after that, man, the faucet comes, the turns on. It turns
the
on.
faucet.
Yeah.
Right now, I can't even talk.
How's it feeling to walk off this field a winner?
Look at Joe. Look at Joe.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. You want to cry a little? That's all? You don't put this uniform on anymore. This is it.
To see these big boys run the stadium stairs, to watch them lift weights, even when things didn't go right and you knew it wasn't their fault, they put it on their shoulders. They put it on them. They loved to impose their will. It was never the fact, they didn't care what was going on. They just always wanted to impose their will. So I, Elvis, you know, the receivers and everybody else, and even the defense can go out and play like we could play.
I mean, the way you hit those holes and the blocks are just like lasting. I mean, clean runs that you were getting.
So Freddie Jackson, which is the running back coach, we got into it. We got into it at practice. And he was like, you can't be running, you got to save yourself. And I said, Jake, save what? There is no such thing as saving. I said, and I knew it in practice, and because I would hit the hole, and I made the comment, I said, listen, I'm running down this hallway, and if that door opens, great. If it doesn't, great.
Going right through it.
And I'm going through it, and I'm not breaking stride. So I practiced that way because those guys had an epic practice each and every day. Like, they just came out. And so for me, I kind of felt like, shame on me if I didn't run as the way they're blocking.
Absolutely.
And so I trusted my landmark.
Were there any ideal stats that you wanted to hit, or was it more overall the performance that you would do would ultimately result in victory?
Only stat we really cared about was the W. Moeller always told us, you do what it takes to win, and we don't care what it is, just win. Because when they go back and look at this game, they're not going to really say, you know, you won by X amount of, points, or you had this many yards. They're just going to say it was a great victory. And so at that moment, it just so happened I had 200 yards in a win.
235 yards, 3 touchdowns, and I think you had some receiving yards too, but who's counting?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the one thing that Michigan wanted to do, and the kids said at the beginning, is that we wanted to sing the victors at Pasadena.
Transitioning from Tyrone Wheatley, the athlete, to Tyrone Wheatley, coach, how does that hit you?
Hits you hard because that's my guy. He did everything he could in his power, in his will for us. He put us in the best position to be successful. At times, you didn't think about it. Was it for us? You just kind of say, man, listen, what are we doing and what are we going through? But you trusted him. And he did ask us, because one day we was, so I'll take you way back.
Take us back.
The LL Cool J song.
Okay.
Going back to Cali. So we were playing that. And he was like, hey, what is that? We was like, going back to Cali. And he was like, well, so what does that mean? We're going back to Cali to win it and to sing the victors on that field. And that was the biggest thing. And so, yes, he wants to win. He has his reasons, and everybody has their own motives, right? But his motive that entire year was to get us back to Pasadena and to win it. And there were days we wouldn't have a great practice. We thought we were having a great practice. And then he would, Moeller being in his own fashion would say, going back to Cali. And so here's the funniest part about the whole deal. I don't think so. We just died laughing. We was like, Moeller listened to Cool J said, going back to Cali. And then he said, practicing that way? I don't think so.
Oh, man.
And he never really wanted to make it about him, but it was always about Michigan. Michigan was the umbrella, right? It was the umbrella, but it was also us, the players. And this guy, man, he was special.
Well, you were special because greatness recognizes greatness. And for you to be a young sophomore in this game and for them to trust you, he recognized your greatness.
Well, I mean, that trust, it works both ways, right? He can't trust me until I trust him. No matter the game plan, no matter what it was, right? I can't second guess the game plan. The offensive line can't second guess the game plan. No matter what comes, we may have in our mind the first thought of, as soon as you have that, you lost. When the game, we call it hot off the presses. We get the game plan, we get it, it's hot off the presses, right? It's like, it's the daily news. You want to see what it is, right? And then once you get it, there's no doubt in your mind as the plays that is being called. You take it, you own it, you read it, you eat it, it becomes a part of you. Let's go get it. I have to trust him, because if I don't trust him, then I mess up, and then he doesn't trust me. So players always think that, well, coach has to trust me. No. It's the trust of the system. It's the trust of the program that you have to earn in order to be trusted.
And as
reciprocal.
Right, and as an athlete, it is a sigh of relief when you can kind of throw everything on your coach and all I got to do is perform. You just want me to lift these high knees with these 90 shoulder pads,
yes,
and run past my defenders with this track speed as a Big Ten champion, no problem.
That's all. That's all I need to do. No doubt. Let's go get it.
And I have to ask this. You know, and I watch you run in and hit that hole and run past the defenders, and I see those arms moving like a track athlete. There was no stopping that.
No, you know.
And how much, you know, an integral part of that track background that you have came out there that everyone saw?
Very. I mean, at the basis of, you know, 99.9% of all sports is running, right? I've never heard a coach say, you can't play for me, you too fast. You know,
I've never heard that.
I've never heard that. And so you just take what you've learned in track, and you talk about the arms pumping, right? As fast as your arms go, your legs move, right? Stride length times stride distance, right? And you can't get the distance in your stride with your arms pumping like you're beating drums. You know, we talk about chips, whatever you call it, chips to mouth, all that, elbows and
ear
swing.
to pocket, yeah.
All of it, right? So it all comes back. And the crazy thing about it is, no one ever wants to get caught. No one ever wants to get caught. You never want to get walked down. And so when you're in the open field, goes back. Hey man, relax your jaws, face relax. And you just pull away from it. One of those, I mean, our producer said that it was over 80 yards. And then he came back and did it again. So your level of fitness with those 90 shoulder pads was impressive as well. Once again, you know, it's the total package. It all goes together, right? You can't, there's nowhere in the world you can look at a body of work and just think about the, you know, the end result. It's a lot of little details. Going back to Freddie Jackson, I got into it in practice. He told me to save it. I was like, no, man, there's no such thing. I have to prepare myself. And so you have to prepare in practice like you want to play in the game. And like I told you, the way these guys were blocking in practice and the holes they were opening up, shame on me if I don't hit this home run. That's just like, you know, a guy putting that ball right over the plate. Shame on me if I don't knock it out the park. And so I have to be ready. I have to be ready for when it comes, when the duty calls. I can't be like, okay, hole opens up and I'm saying, I'm tired and I can't, you know. No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna be ready.
So was there anything about Pasadena after this game, I mean, with the guys, any moments, any restaurants, and you know, there's obviously no Instagram and social media, which might be good for you, but was there anything, any moments that you can remember that you guys shared after that game?
Oh, yes. I'll have to go back to my freshman year, right? So you take a young kid out of Inkster, Michigan, and so it's my first time ever in California. We get to the Rose Bowl, we get to the stadium, and the backdrop, and the sun is setting, and the backdrop of the stadium and the mountains, and I'm just sitting there like, this is the most amazing and pretty place I've ever seen. So you have your fun, like you say, you go into the restaurants, and you're just eating things like the first time I was ever introduced to guacamole.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell is guacamole, right?
Going from Inkster.
It was like, it's avocado. I was like, what the hell is avocado? Right, so. But you flip to this next year, like I say, our theme was to going back to Cali. But the entire time we were there, it was a business trip. It wasn't no, let's go to the restaurants. No, we're sitting here. We had a game room at the hotel. Nobody was in it. No, if you have time to play games, you got time to watch film.
Can you say that again a little bit louder for your guys in the back?
If you have time to play games, you got time to watch film.
Absolutely.
So the difference between the first year and the second year, it was a business trip.
And you talked about some guys, you said, did anyone jog your mind on who you might have forgot that didn't get credit in the Wheatley game?
Oh, man. Well, I'd say Amani Toomer, he had some amazing blocks. A guy who was very close, and probably could have won the MVP himself was Tony McGee. He had a stellar game. I think he had, 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, you had to share some.
He blocked well, like Tony blocked well. I just, like I said, I didn't miss the whole entire offensive line, but Ed Davis, my running back crew, Ricky Powers, I mean, they came in, because I did leave the game, I think, late in the game with a back injury, but they came in and they did incredible. Shea Foster, my fullback, my man, you know.
So you left the game early with the stats you had?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to put that on the record. Got that on the record. He left the game early with those stats, so that's.
Yeah, so, and then of course the defense. You know, you can't sit there and say, well, offense did it and I did it, but the defense made some key stops at some key times in order to get us the ball back when we needed it. You know, in order to give us like a 14-point swing when we were down, they gave us a key stop. I scored. Then they came back and they gave us the ball right back. So, you know, defensively, they played. Then, of course, you know, going back to the Lions, my man Hutch. You know,
I'm sure they can appreciate that.
Oh, man, Hutch played, you know, like the son, like dad. Man, you know, he played lights out. I mean, he was a man possessed.
So if you do get time, because I know you're watching film and studying, you watch young Hutch, do you see some similarities there?
Some similarities. You know, Pops will get a little bit mad. He's a little taller than Pops. He's taller than Dad. But there are some similarities. Hard work, play through the whistle. You know, they don't play till they play through the whistle. Relentless. But there are some incredible similarities. And that get off is insane.
And you know, it's tough. We talked about this before. Those generations now you see, and you got to play with Pops. Now you're watching Junior play, so that can be special as well.
It's always special. It's always special, and just like you say, to see them grow and to see them get to this point in their life and to mature, and then they have a special relationship and what Junior means to Senior. And how he wears this number, right? Represent his dad, and then to see that play out all over again. I mean, it's just so many stories within the story that's unfolding, but I get a chance to know the back end of it. That's also special.
And there's no social media with the back end, so we'll leave that.
No social media.
So watching this, the amount of emotion that I witnessed and that you felt, what do you tell 1993 Rose Bowl champion Wheatley game? What do you tell him?
Ooh, what do I tell him? No, you know what? I don't tell him anything because the script was written. I think he played a great role in it. I don't tell him anything. Don't go back and change time.
You don't go back and change time. I appreciate that. Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking so much time, going back down memory lane. I definitely moved up in the rankings of the grandchildren. I got to wear this today, so that was fun. And to know you, to understand you, to see the emotions.
Yeah, I don't appreciate y'all making me cry. All you guys.
To see the emotions that this brought, I'm really hoping that people can understand that this game of football, it's become a little bit more complicated with, you got all other things going on, but to see this is refreshing. Kind of helps you hit the reset on why guys are out there, while you're in summer training, while you're making sacrifices, while you're in the weight room at 5 a.m., while you're watching film till 11 o'clock. And, to have Wayne State, to have you here, to build another generation, there's no words for that.